Giannis Antetokounmpo basically recently came out and basically said that he feels like he's only at 60% of his maximum potential. 60%. Well, Giannis is the reigning NBA MVP. And to be MVP and only be at, 60% of your capacity is actually quite unbelievable. Giannis averaged like 27 points, 12 rebounds, how many X amount of blocks a game last season. So for him to go into next season saying that he can get about 40% better, well, let's think about it. What does that really mean? Well, we all saw Giannis in the Bucks versus the Raptors in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we all know what was the major deficiency that Giannis Antetokounmpo had. The major problem he had was once the defense created a wall and you put a really good on-the-ball defender on him, you created this wall and he couldn't drive, he couldn't slash, because what will happen is when Giannis drives and he slashes to the paint, he collapses the defense and opens up space for the shooters. You know, so that's his specialty. But since Kawhi Leonard was such a good on-the-ball defender and can play him face up, they would give him this space and force him to shoot these mid-range jumpers. And he showed the ability not to be able to do that consistently. So I think going into the season, Giannis is saying to himself, hey, you know what? I need to develop my mid-range game. I need to be able to have a pull-up jumper. I need to be able to have a set shot, be able to shoot the three ball more consistently. So I think that's what he means by improving by this extra 40%. I think what else he means is that the way he thinks the game. I think he's saying, you know, the way he thinks the game can be improved upon. Maybe he can see different things on the court. Maybe he can do more film study. Maybe he can watch other players that play similarly to he does that came in the past and see how he can draw parallels and see what they did successfully, try to integrate that into his game. Maybe that's what he means. Who knows? But for him to say that there's a 40% gap to where he wants to be, that means that if he fills that gap, he's going to be the greatest player of all time. Now, I don't know if Giannis is going to end up being the greatest player of all time, but it seems to be the challenge that he set to himself. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see what type of progression Giannis is going to be able to make over the next coming years. I don't think he's going to be able to reach his peak by next year. I think there's always room for improvement. For instance, I've never seen Giannis hit a turnaround jump shot. I've never seen him hit a fadeaway before. He can definitely integrate that into his game. So I think there's much more room for improvement, but I don't think you're going to see 100%. I don't think you're going to see that extra 40% added to his game by the end of next season. I think there's a progression and there's an arc. Most great players get better over time. If you look at Michael Jordan, he was an amazing attacker. He was great at slashing and, you know, doing all these things, but he really developed himself into a great jump shooter as time went on in the NBA, and that's when he just became pretty much automatic from the mid-range. So these are the basic hot topics that happened this week in basketball, and I just wanted to give you guys a recap of what happened. What I want to know is what you guys think of everything that I said and what's happening in the NBA. Do you think LeBron James should have got some more votes? What do you think about player movement? Do you think players should be able to just break their contracts whenever they want to? And do you really think that Giannis is going to get that much better? Is there that much room for improvement in this game in this upcoming season? That's what I want to know from you guys. But for now, this is the conversation for this week. I'll catch up with you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Peace.